Hello, hello.
Hello,
So,
hello.
we are here to watch the rest of the hearing on for Morgan Geyser, and I'll give you guys a quick overview of like the case or whatever. Timeline of Morgan Geyser's release case. In January 2025, a judge ordered Morgan Geyser's conditional release from the psychiatric hospital. Um, in February of 2025, there was opposition to this release decision with a petition filed to stop it. On February 28th to March 1st, 2025, Waukesha County judge stayed or paused the conditional release pending a hearing. And that's the hearing that we will be watching today, which actually happened just a little bit earlier today. Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire were both 12 years old in 2014 when they lured their friend Peyton Lautner to a wooded area and stabbed her 19 times to appease the fictional character Slenderman. Geyser pleaded guilty to attempted first-degree intentional homicide but was not found guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, and was sentenced to up to 40 years in a psychiatric institution. Weir was sentenced to up to 25 years but was granted supervised release in 2021 at age 19. Three psychologists had testified that Geyser, now 22, is mentally ready for supervised release. The recent petition to stop Geyser's release cited concerns about a book she was reading, allegedly a Stephen King novel with themes of sexual sadism, and a person she was communicating with. Geyser's attorney argues that these concerns don't warrant stopping her release, calling it a hit job at the last minute. Geyser now identifies as she did identify as a transgender man, but now she's back to being referred to as Morgan. And so that's basically like the backstory. So, you want to just get to it? Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Slenderman killer. I don't remember if you said that.
I don't know if I did either.
This crap
yeah.
is wild. Yeah, we can get to it. I'll start sharing it out. You should do the same.
Oh, yeah.
Indicated that Ms. Groff was present.
She is here, yes.
Is any significance to her testifying?
I was not going to call Ms. Groff.
All right, all right. Any further witnesses at this stage?
There is, just trying to
You asked for someone to appear by Zoom.
Portman is on Zoom. She is appearing remotely with the permission of the court.
Are you calling her?
Yes, please.
So is Portman in the Zoom arena?
I believe she was.
What, Judge Gold? Did you know you could do that?
Portman, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, we've got to connect you up to Zoom so we can see you. That may be on your part to connect up the camera.
How funny was it when like that guy was like a cat? That was so funny.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn on the camera and I'm not quite.
Which guy?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Like the judge
Oh, there we
or
are.
something.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hello.
During COVID.
So I can see you and I can
didn't
hear
see
you.
that.
Can you see and hear
I'll
the
find
court?
it.
Yes, I can.
All right. Do you, Attorney Nicolai, do you recognize Ms. Portman?
No, I
No.
don't.
All right. Well, we'll assume you are Ms. Portman. That's true.
Yes.
Until further examination. I'm going to ask you to stand if you can. Raise your right hand. Our clerk's going to swear you in.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Thank you. Please be seated. And then state your full name and spell your last name.
Portman, Portmann.
And what's your first name?
Lisa.
All right. Thank you. And where do you work?
I work at Winnebago Mental Health.
All right. And you're currently out of state, true?
I am.
And because you're out of state, the court authorized you to appear by Zoom today.
Thank you.
True? I mean, that's true, correct?
Yes.
All right, very good. Then I'll turn to Attorney Nicolai.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Portman, do you work with Morgan Geyser at Winnebago?
Yes, I do.
And how, in what way?
I am assigned as an individual therapist to work with her.
Are you aware that the Department of Health Services has filed a petition to revoke conditional release in regard to Ms. Geyser?
I am.
Were you part of any of the
Hi.
conditional release plan meetings at all in regard to Ms. Geyser?
Just one.
Okay, would it have been the initial one with a bigger group involved?
Yes.
Okay. I have some questions specifically about pieces of information that I'm interested in knowing whether Ms. Geyser's treatment team was aware of that I would like to ask you about. The first involves a book. How much work in therapy was done regarding addressing Ms. Geyser's preferred reading material, if any?
Can I express I have some concerns about disclosure
Yeah, I was going to
from
raise.
therapy sessions?
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to address that issue as well.
All right, so we should address it.
Right, I would think that there would have to be a release sign.
What
or
are
some kind of waiver
those?
for- I think what she's concerned about is testifying to information in therapy that has not been subpoenaed by the state.
So she needs a release to do
They
that.
would need a release to have.
So what's your client's here, you're here, what's your client's position?
I need to speak with I didn't know they were calling the therapist, so I haven't even.
He
discussed
didn't know
with Ms.
that,
Geyser.
really.
I would need to speak with Ms. Portman privately, and then I can come back and advise how we want to handle that.
All right, well, that's reasonable. We'll take a recess at this time for about 10 minutes. I think recess is reasonable. And then we'll give you an opportunity to do so. Now you'll have to, what we're going to do is we're going to, we have some options available. One is we could clear the courtroom, but for the security and allow you to confer. We can also permit you to go into one of the visiting rooms. Or we can have you stay there, take a break, stay there.
I was just going to step out and call Ms. Portman on a cell phone. If she could give the number to Jessica, I could just call her by phone.
I thought you had to confer with your client.
Well, I need to speak with Ms. Portman and Ms. Geyser. So I guess with respect to Ms. Geyser, I would only speak with her after I've had a chance to speak with the therapist. I don't know what she's going to testify to.
All right, that's reasonable. Do you, we'll have to, I assume then we're going to have we'll take a break, number one. Number two, Ms. Portman's going to have to disconnect from Zoom. I'm assuming she only has one phone with her. And
Yes.
and then that contact can occur. There's no need to broadcast your phone number over the public airways, but you could text it to someone. Have you provided your phone number?
You can text it to somebody.
Do what?
You can text it to somebody. Like he didn't know. Hold on. America.
Oh, I wonder. Let's see. Stream info.
Let's go. Dude. Oh, there we go. This is a weird angle to be like filming it from, you know?
It sure
Where you
is.
can like see all what they're looking at, you know? I guess it's where, like, if you were sitting in the gallery, it's like that's where you'd be sitting. So.
1 second. Gosh darn it.
Man, I don't think I feel comfortable with her being released. I don't know. Maybe.
I definitely don't.
I mean, 40 years. She got
I mean-
sentenced to 40 years. And then she's like, what? It's been less than 10 years.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
What are they watching?
Inside, I'm like, do what?
What are they watching right here?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I think,
Yeah, that lawyer, her lawyer is a little bit weird too.
let's see if doing this. Try to see if we can get some people in the chat somehow. Gimbo give me some, give me a couple little tips on the back end of this. Let's see. Copy.
You know,
I do, sir.
and you talked to your attorney about that?
Yes, sir.
Satisfied with Attorney Constance's advice?
Yes, sir.
Satisfied with him as your attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that's fine, thank you. I'll then authorize that I'm satisfied in Ms. Portman that Ms. Geiser has released you from any rules of confidentiality with regard to the testimony too. You can proceed. So we'll go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Portman, I'm just going to ask a few pretty specific questions. And to clarify, you would be considered part of Ms. Geiser's treatment team with Winnebago Mental Health Institution, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As part of the treatment team, were you aware that Ms. Geiser enjoyed reading material that had themes involving sexual sadism?
No,
Is that interest something that has ever been worked on in therapy with Ms. Geiser?
not with me.
Okay. Was the treatment team aware that Ms. Geiser's interest in reading material that had themes of murder and organ selling on the black market was something that was occurring?
I can't speak to what the treatment team knew.
Okay. Did you know these things?
No,
Okay. So that was never addressing the affinity for these types of themed literature. It was not something that you've addressed with Ms. Geiser in therapy.
no.
So if the conditional release planning team wanted to try to mitigate risk in some way and come to you, you would have no insight in terms of treatment that's been done with Ms. Geiser about those topics.
Correct.
Okay. In terms of this individual, Jeffrey Pagels, were you aware of Ms. Geiser's
Pagels?
relationship with him?
What?
Jeffrey
I've
Kegels?
heard his name mentioned before in therapy.
Okay. Was information relayed to you that Ms. Geiser wanted to be sexually intimate with this person?
No,
Was information relayed to you
There we go.
that this person was sexually aroused by
What's
Ms.
up,
Geiser?
Cyber Warrior?
no.
Were you aware that
I think if everybody will click the pinned
Ms. Geiser
comment
was
on my
sending this
channel, we're over out here on
letters or
Don't
cards?
Hate Creates chat. Trying to
Yeah,
get
I want to clarify. I did
yes,
find
you did.
out,
Salutes if you want to come in and
recently
get
since
into
the
this.
filing of the petition.
I don't know if you know what's going on
But
today.
prior-
Okay,
I think
so
I have the comment
in
pinned with
terms
the
of
link
in a
for
therapeutic clinical setting, these
everyone
are
over
not
there.
things that would have
I
been
just
addressed
put my
with the
channel up
treatment
because
team.
hers doesn't seem to trigger the algorithm with all you guys. There we go,
What
Fishy.
about-
That helped a little bit.
Has there been
Salutes if you.
work
I don't know
done
if you're caught up to
between you and
speed,
Ms.
but if you're
Geiser in
free,
terms of
I'm sure
her
Fishy'd
affinity
love to have
for,
you up.
violent or dark art?
Just drop the link, both channels. It's pretty crazy what's going on right now.
Ms.
Howdy,
Geiser has
Mustang.
shared her artwork with me.
Howdy, Puck.
Okay, and are you aware that
Oh, you're right,
pieces
Puck.
of art
Fishy was covering this earlier.
that Ms. Geiser
If you want to pause it
drew
for a
were sent
second, I
to
can
this person, Mr.
address some of those guys.
I've since learned that some of her art was sent.
if you want to give a little bit of your preamble again.
Oh yeah, I can.
It doesn't have to be super formal, but at least so. I just tossed it up on the other channel so we could get a couple people in there. New people that aren't aware of the case. Sleuth's in the chat. Said he covered it. I don't know if he's covered the updates on it.
I don't know. So in January, Morgan Geyser was up for release, conditional release from the psychiatric hospital, and it was granted. But then in February, there was opposition to this release, and they filed a petition to like hold the release until they could do like this hearing right here. And so this hearing happened actually like a little bit earlier today. And they are trying to, like, they're going to decide whether she can be released or she is not ready to be released, I guess. So that's pretty much it. Oh, she was, like, sentenced to 40 years in a psychiatric institution for stabbing her friend 19 times with this other girl who has already been released. They were both 12 when it happened in 2014, and she is 22 now. So they are going to decide whether she's ready to be released or not. Pretty much.
And they're contesting it. Their own people who recommended the release, correct, are contesting it. That's the conclusion we came upon earlier.
Basically, I think they're contesting it because she like was reading a book that was talking about like sexual sadism or something, and like selling organs. And then also she was like communicating with this guy who was like selling her art on Facebook or something. It's weird. But so that's what this is about.
Crazy. Oh, yeah. He was, correct me if I'm wrong, she sent him at least one correspondence, seems to be one, that she wanted to have intercourse with him. But he was sexually interested in her crimes.
Yeah.
Apparently fantasizing, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Sleuth, you are right.
Sleuth, I would love to hear your opinion on whether you think she should be getting out or not.
Love to have him up here. No, I don't think many people know. No. Fuck no.
What the fuck? Okay, should I start playing again?
Yeah. Send you the postal receipt.
Were you ever shown artwork that Miss Geyser did that depicts a decapitated type figure with blood coming out of the neck area? Does that sound like something that you've ever seen?
No.
Does that type of style or material sound consistent with artwork you've seen that Miss Geyser has shown you?
No.
Is Ms. Geyser's interest in creating that type of artwork something that you've worked on with her in therapy?
Is there a way for you to turn that up a smidge? Or is it up all the way? I don't know if it's just my headphones or if the whole thing's quiet or not.
I think it's up all the way, but it seems like it's quieter than it was before, huh? I don't know.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes the court feeds suck. What's up, Mar? Peyton Lautner is stronger than most.
Dude, crazy strong.
Those are all the questions I have. Thank you.
No, stronger. I think that's the chick that they stabbed.
Good afternoon, Ms. Portman.
She got stabbed like 19 times and crawled
How
to
long have you been Miss
the
Geyser's
help.
Oh,
therapist?
no. That's yeah. See, I
About
don't
1
remember the
year.
name.
Okay, you work inside Winnebago mental health facility, right?
Oof.
Yes, I do.
And you remember testifying at the
I think
conditional release hearing
Sleuth. I think
couple
Fishy
months ago,
said
right?
that
Yes.
And
when they
as
had
Ms.
the
Geiser's
release
therapist, it's your job
hearing,
to
they
provide
had
her
her
with one-on-one
testify,
as well as group
which
therapy.
we
Is
might
that
end
correct?
up pulling up later, right?
Yes.
And those are two different types of therapy. Group is with other individuals, and then one-on-one is more of a private experience, right?
Yes.
And do you have any concerns as you sit here today over Morgan's behavior in therapy?
Ooh,
No.
Mar, we gotta talk Coburger
Even
later.
now, as you sit here right now today, knowing everything you know, are you concerned at all about Morgan's
Hey,
attitude or behavior in therapy?
No.
What about just in general, speaking about Morgan as a
I was
person?
too busy listening
Are
to
you
G
somehow now
Unit.
alarmed that there's risk factors now that you were unaware of? Is that how you feel?
No.
Okay. So as I understand
And
that,
screwing around on MySpace.
that you know
Be
the judge had
stabbing
ordered
people.
a conditional release plan to be put into place, right? You're aware of that after the last hearing?
Yes.
And isn't it true that part of the therapy that you were working on then with Morgan was working with her on that transition to the community?
Yes.
Because that's something that you wanted to have happen for her.
I know. I saw it after the fact. I haven't
And
gotten
in
to
fact,
watch
as
it
you
yet,
sit here
Mar.
today, it's something that you still want to happen for her, right?
I'm very excited.
Yes.
There's no new red flag that's so alarming to you as a therapist that you think you need more
Shout out to
therapy with
Potentially Criminal
Morgan at
and
Winnebago, right?
Defense Diaries too.
No.
So, and that's knowing this information. The state asked you about Morgan's reading themes. The book we're talking about, this Rent Boy book, you are now aware she read that book, right?
Yes.
Has there ever been a rule of therapy or that she can't read certain material?
It's probably my favorite
No.
YouTube channel.
Are you aware of any? Is she subject to any such rules that she can't read a
Potentially
particular
Criminal.
genre or a particular type of book at Winnebago?
No.
So there's no restrictions, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Just,
And
just
you would agree that you and Morgan have a good relationship. At least you would.
what
You
do you
would see
call
it
it?
that way, right?
Yes.
And
When he
now
goes
that
off
you-
the stream, it's just
is
because
part of the
you're
therapy that every time she comes in to meet with you,
just
Morgan
because you
talks
did
about
it
the last
doesn't
book
mean
she
you're
read in the last
guilty.
couple of days, or how do you guys handle her choice of reading material?
If she chooses to share what she's reading, she might
Was
share
it
what
any
she's
good,
interested
Marv?
in or what she's reading. I don't specifically ask about it.
You've gotten to know her very well over the last year, right?
Yes.
You know that Morgan is a very bright young woman, right?
Yes.
And you know that she's very well read, isn't she?
Yes.
You also know that at Winnebago, there's no internet access that she has, right?
Correct.
So she's not on the internet, on Facebook or any other site, interact with people who are posting stuff, as far as you know, right?
Yes.
And Miss Geiser is interested in all sorts of reading material, from historical fiction to current fiction to Catcher in the Rye and Van Gogh and all sorts of things. You're aware of that?
Yes.
Because you guys have talked about that as part of your getting to know each other. One way to get to know someone as a therapist is ask them what they're interested in, right?
Yes.
And that's a normal part of therapy, isn't it? That as a therapist, you try to develop a rapport with the person that you're treating.
Yes.
So if somebody that you're treating is really interested in movies, you might want to know, you might talk to them about movies or things like that, right?
Yes.
And have you ever felt like Morgan withholds information from you in this year that you've treated her? Do you feel like you have to pry information out of her in therapy, or would you describe her as somebody who
Is Morgan the name of the Slenderman stabber?
what she does?
Morgan's the girl. Yeah.
Yes.
She's the one on trial right now.
Discloses and reports. She comes in ready to talk
Yes, Mar.
regularly.
And I think it's important to cover this topic.
Oh,
ma'am.
thank you.
After reading
Always
this
smash
book,
the
Rent Boy,
like.
that has these
And the
concerning
bell
themes
if you guys
these
haven't hit
court
it yet.
themes, did you notice a regression
Fishy-
in Morgan that you were
Fishy's working on
alarmed
doing a
that
lot
perhaps
more
she
of
had read
these.
something disturbing and was now experiencing trauma in therapy, or no?
And it'll
I
get,
have not
if-
seen any
if it's
progression
not
from her
the best
since I've
yet,
been working
it'll
with
get
her. I
better.
don't know when
We're
she
all
read the
still
book.
learning how to do all
So
this stuff.
in the year you've been working with her, you've not noticed any regression
Make
based on
sure
anything
you
she's read. Is that what you're
have
saying?
suggestions in the
Yes.
comment. And
Now,
hit the bell and share it and all
a
that
person
good
named
stuff.
Jeff Pagel, who you said you were aware of because his name has been mentioned in therapy before, right?
Yes.
This is not a current person that Miss Geiser is having
Toby's
contact with,
around.
as you understand it, right?
Howdy, Toby.
Yes, correct.
His name came up as somebody that she didn't want to have contact with. That's what you recall, isn't it?
Yes.
That she, and it was her bringing up Jeffrey Pagel to you, right?
Yes.
That's how you learn about it in therapy.
And
because
Puck, I
Morgan,
believe
as the patient,
if you want
is
to look into
disclosing
how crazy
something
this
that she's
case is,
concerned
it's
about
called the
that she wishes to
Slenderman.
talk through with you, right?
It's
Yes.
not killer,
And then
right?
you talk through it
Slenderman stabbings.
and figure out whether it's something that requires more discussion or more treatment, right?
Correct.
And have you had ma'am, I don't know if you've had a chance, but have you had a chance to read the petition that was filed to revoke Ms. Geiser's conditional release?
No, I haven't read it.
Okay. And
That's right.
is there anything as you sit here now that causes you to recommend to the court
The
that
first
she needs more institutional
month
therapy?
ago, Puck, there was a hearing to have her
I
released
believe I
because
can
I
make
think
that
it was
opinion. I don't,
she got
make an
40 years
opinion
in
on
a
whether or
psych
not she
ward,
was ready to leave
and
or
now
to
this
stay
is
longer.
the people that recommended the release
Is there a new
trying
treatment
to
plan that
revoke
you think
that
needs to
or
be developed
put a
with her
stay on it,
because she
let
has
them
some
reevaluate.
historical contact with Pagel or because she read this Rent Boy literature?
No,
Nothing.
correct.
That's all.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I should say this is that.
She got 40 years. You can
Right,
get
right,
anywhere
right.
from yeah. She got 40 years. I don't know exactly.
Ms.
I don't
Portman,
remember exactly what she was charged with, but she didn't get prison time. She got psych ward
really there was
because
not
she
a
was
lot
clearly
about
insane.
Ms. Geiser's interest in
Am I
terms of-
mistaken in recalling that she said she's trans or non-binary?
Yeah.
Or something?
Not,
Yep.
not a lot, just casual
No, you're not
conversation
mistaken.
about Van Gogh.
She was, but then now she's like not anymore. I guess she
yeah,
doesn't.
I
identify
Yeah,
as that anymore.
definitely psych ward for sure.
But see, I figured it out now. That's why they're wanting her back in there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Not really.
Like, you don't serve our purpose anymore, so
Yeah. You must align with the agenda or we'll hold you forever.
yeah.
Yeah, she is crazy, Mar. Like, there's no... I don't know if you followed this at all. You can go back and watch her interrogations and all that. She make the hairs on your neck stand up.
She needs Jesus. Go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
I have that song stuck in my head for life, I feel like.
We talked about
one?
Van Gogh quite a bit.
The gravy guy.
Ms. Geiser never
What
offered
is it?
to you, hey,
The
I'm reading
baby?
this book and right now the characters are selling human organs.
I
in
put
the
it in
black
your
market.
jams
That
part
was
of
not
your
a just
Discord.
casual
Oh, okay.
discussion that you had, right?
Correct.
And you've now testified that that's not a concern. You don't believe that that's concerning, right?
What state was this in,
You're
Fishy?
aware that
Oh, Wisconsin, is it?
Wisconsin.
Ms. Geiser
Oh,
has been fixated on fictional characters, right?
shout out to Mass Boy Fly, Daryl Brooks.
And the index
What
offense
the
is directly
business?
related to a fictional character named Slenderman. You're aware of that, right?
Yes.
And you're aware that in Ms. Geiser's history, she was also fixated on literary characters, right? From Harry Potter books.
Yes.
And you know that the index offense was, at least for a part of time, reportedly due to adherence of the wishes of those fictional people, right?
I'm not real clear on that remote past. I've really worked with her in the present time. I can speak better to what work she's done in the past year and where she's been at mentally in the past year.
But don't you think that someone with that history, it would be very, very important to monitor what types of fictional characters they are relating to and interested in?
I mean, I don't think they can just recall it
I was
because
more
I
attuned
don't
to
know.
her
They didn't make a
mental
You don't think
status,
what?
her mental health, how she was presenting.
See, this
I don't
lady
think
has good audio. The other people are quiet. Sorry.
I don't think that they should be able, like, they already went through the hearing and they conditionally released her. So, like, they didn't have any rules about, like, what she could read or any of that stuff. And they knew she drew pictures like that. So, I don't see why it would, like, change her release. Kind of.
I think you're right, but I don't, like we talked about earlier, I really, something makes me feel like this isn't why, like this is the pretense they're using to keep her, but I feel like there's a reason that they,
But, like, if they had more of a reason, they should probably say it because otherwise. Or, I think she'll probably, I don't know.
I think they
probably
screwed up in the first place, even releasing her, but yeah, you did it, you agreed to it,
Well, they
she's
released
probably
that
gonna get
other girl.
released.
They released the other girl like almost
Well,
4
she
years
served
ago
her
now.
time, right?
Well, she had
This one was
25
like the
life.
ringleader. She get good behavior. What's up, Dark Woods?
Sorry, I'll keep playing. I feel like
No, it's okay.
Whether she was delusional or psychotic or anxious. We coped with grief and family and relationships
Dark
in
Woods
her
hit the nail
present
on the head.
environment in the past year.
And you testified that you, for the most part, felt like Ms.
Yeah, the
Geiser
other one
was
is
an
free.
accurate reporter.
I don't know, and that's the
Stable.
weird. How much did you say she
Yeah.
got sentenced to,
You're also aware
25.
that
and what was she charged with?
at a point in time, Ms. Geiser
I
Was
think-
it 25 years on one sentence, or was it a bunch of different things running concurrently
I think she got 25.
that added up to 25 years?
No, I think she got
Well,
like
it's beyond the scope of the.
25
the-
or like that
the
sentence.
cross to an extent, but if we're going into detail on therapy and then contact with this guy, so I'll overrule the objection. I think it's necessary.
So,
I find it's within the scope of the cross.
and they're so young that it's hard to get them to do this. Like, it's hard to sentence somebody like that forever.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're aware
weird.
that Ms. Geiser has reported.
I'm sure she's on
she
parole for a long
feigned
time, right?
symptoms of
Parole and
schizophrenia
probation.
and never
I have no
suffered from a mental disease or defect at the time of the
We'll have to look that
incident.
up, or if you
Yes.
can chat
We talked
GPT it or
about that
something.
in therapy.
Do you think that it's possible that there's a risk
Yes, they did, Mar.
underlying symptoms of schizophrenia and never suffered from a mental disease or defect at the time of the index offense?
We talked about that in therapy.
Do you think that it's possible that there's a risk underlying the stability that you see from Ms. Geiser in your therapy with her?
Do I think that there's a risk? Oh, can you restate that?
Sure. Now knowing that
I know they
Ms.
cited that
Geiser
she had a
has an
good support
interest in
system when she came home,
the types of artwork
but
that we've talked about.
I find that hard to even, what do you call it, grasp that when the support system she had led to the thing that happened in the first place. Maybe not caused it, but allowed it to happen.
Dude, I think she was like I mean, they were 12. That's like very young. So I have torn feelings about it.
As the parent of young little ones, I don't know that my parents would have been looking out for me taking a friend out, stabbing them in the woods somewhere. Like, I just don't know.
Well,
Maybe a halfway house is good.
Obviously, you're not going to think that your kid is going to go freaking stab their friend. Like, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and review the trial.
Decapitated figures.
12 and
type of
vicious.
fiction
If she would have used the gun, they could have charged her parents.
Do you have any concern that?
Oh, is it lagging, Darkwoods? Might have to refresh YouTube.
This Geiser in therapy is not accurately reflecting what's going on.
I don't know.
I don't. I saw somebody who was who I
Yeah, Dan, you have that frog thing going on again.
Oh,
processing
I had YouTube open.
authentic emotion and thoughts and relating to her environment and bringing that into the therapy session and processing it. I saw That's what I saw.
Thank you very much for your time, Ms. Portman. That's all I have.
Any recross?
Yes, briefly. Is there a rule of therapy that she's supposed to bring up every one of the books that she reads and talk to you about it?
No,
Okay. And you've now had a chance to look into this book, Rent Boy, and it's not something that raises any concerns to you as your treatment provider,
right.
right? That's all.
Any further direct?
Is that any better?
Ms. Previn,
Yeah.
what is your educational background?
I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I have a master's degree in social work.
And how long have you been working at Winnebago?
15 years or 14 years. 15 years with the state.
Is social work the same as a therapist
Have
or
you been
whatever?
part, you said you've been a part of.
Yes, social
Kaiser's
workers
treatment
can be
team for the
therapists,
last year.
counselors,
Yes.
Before that, were you involved in other treatment teams? Involving other
probation
individuals?
officers, parole officers.
Yeah.
You think she
How many
she
other
would have a
individuals have
psychiatrist
you
though?
been involved in as a treatment
No.
team member?
Oh,
Psychiatrists,
hundreds and hundreds
pretty
for
much, like,
15
people
years,
think
so.
that psychiatrists do a lot when it comes to this stuff, but they're pretty much your med pusher. Like, that sounds meaner than I mean it, but psychologist or a social worker or a counselor is normally what you're dealing with in these things. Like at the mental facilities where they're at, the psychiatrist is
All
going
right, I
to be
have no other
doling out all
questions.
the
Any
meds
questions
and
to the witness based upon my questions? for the
checking and
state?
making sure there's no
Attorney
counterindications
Cotton,
or
anything from you?
reactions,
All right,
etc.
thank you. And Ms. Perman, thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.
Thank you.
In reviewing everyone else's stuff.
How should we proceed at this point?
Judge, at this time, I don't have any other testimony or evidence on the state's burden for the petition, and I believe I've moved to the only exhibit I'm not into evidence, exhibit 1.
I think you did. We received state's exhibit 1.
Those were court exhibits, you said, Judge.
Yeah, we have 2 courts exhibits. Are you moving those in?
I would move both reports in.
So I'll receive both. So ordered. And then, do you want the exhibits, Attorney Cotton?
I was just going to grab them.
I'll give them to you. How are you, then, the state's pressing, how do you wish to proceed?
Call Dr. Ken Robbins. He's waiting on Zoom right now.
All right. You want the exhibit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me? All right, Dr. Robbins, you're appearing by Zoom. Can you see and hear the court? I cannot hear you, so you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can. I can see you and I can hear you. Can you see and
Great.
hear the court?
I can.
All right, very good. Thank you. I'm going to ask you to stand if you can. Raise your right hand. Our clerk will swear you in.
Okay.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And you've testified previously in these hearings concerning Ms. Geiser.
I have.
Thank you. Then Attorney Compton.
Judge, given your familiarity with this doctor, would you take judicial notice of his qualifications?
I will. I'll take judicial notice of the qualifications for Dr. Robbins as well as the other 2 doctors there to appear if they appear today. So ordered.
Dr. Robbins, good afternoon. Thank you for appearing.
My pleasure.
You are in receipt of the amended or the petition for revocation of conditional release that was provided to you, right?
Correct.
After that was given to you, did you take any action or take any steps?
I did. So I'm in California, so I couldn't go to Winnebago to see Morgan directly in person, but I did have a remote interview with Morgan, and then I spoke with Dr. Kayla Pope, the medical director of Winnebago.
And what if anything, did you talk to Kayla? You say Kayla Pope, Dr. Pope is the medical director of Winnebago?
Correct.
Why did you speak with her?
I wanted to know, because I was surprised that the report from Ms. Whitaker suggested that the staff who were working with Morgan weren't aware of what was going on with either the books or with this man who had been
Exactly.
contacting her. And that wasn't my understanding. So I wanted to find out what the truth was. So I called Dr. Pope to get more information.
And what did you learn the truth was?
I'm sorry, that one didn't come through clearly.
What did you learn when you spoke with Dr. Pope?
Objection, hearsay.
So Dr.
Well,
Pope told me,
it is, if it's offered for the truth of the matter concerned, as I understand the question, so it is hearsay.
It's to show why he did the things he did, why he took the next steps and pursued the opinion that he ended up concluding.
Well, that's true, but then we don't receive it for the truth of the matter asserted. We receive it for what he heard and what he did in response to what he heard.
Right.
I'll receive it on that basis.
And so thank you, Judge. So Dr. Robbins, you spoke with Dr. Pope, and what did you learn as you spoke with Dr. Pope?
Dr. Pope told me that the staff were well aware of the books that Morgan had read, including the specific book that Ms. Whitaker mentioned. I think it was, Rent Boy. I'm not sure I have that quite right, but something like that. And that they were well aware of this man, Mr. Pagel, who had visited Morgan. So they were aware of all of this and had discussed it. And were not
Puck, you're right.
did not feel like any of this put Morgan at increased risk of behaving violently.
Did you have an opportunity to speak with Morgan then?
I did.
Was it by Zoom or by phone?
It was by phone.
Yeah, Darkwoods, I think
I'm in a very
the
rural part of
release is
California. Zoom
conditional
wasn't, I
and
couldn't
it's a
access
halfway
it.
house type of
And
thing.
based on your discussions with Ms. Geiser, do you, in your knowledge of what she has read, do you have an opinion about her suitability for conditional release?
Yes, so I was aware of some of the books. I wasn't aware of this particular book, but after talking with Morgan and after doing some search myself about this book and speaking with Dr. Pope, it doesn't change my opinion about her suitability for conditional release.
Why not? Should the court be alarmed that she read a particularly gory book? Does that make her a more?
She read Harry Potter, lock her up.
So I went through, I was sent a list by Morgan and by you as well of the books that Morgan has read over the last year, and the vast majority are not violent books. She's,
Hey, Mustang.
she reads a wide range, mostly of sort of classic literature. And when I myself looked up this book, Rent Boy, what it was described on the internet was that it was I wrote this down because I wasn't sure I'd remember it. It described it as a hysterical romp through the worlds of contemporary culture and crime. It doesn't advertise it as a particularly gory or particularly sexual. It describes it as a comic book, that it's focused on comedy. I don't mean comic book. And I guess I didn't find the description to be alarming. And when I spoke with Morgan, she was very clear that that's not what attracted her to this, not the sex, not the violence. She just found it an interesting discussion of culture and comedy. So no, I think she reads a wide range of books because she has a wide range of interests, and she has such limited access to entertainment that I can imagine she wants to experience a wide range of books and try to understand what's happening in the culture. So no, there was nothing about this that made it sound to me like Morgan is focusing on gore or violence, or that anything about what she's been doing would put her at increased risk for violence.
Thank you. When you read through the list of books that she's read over the last year, some of those books include, for example, she reads the Bible every day. Did you become aware of that?
I did.
Streets of what?
And certainly there's violent themes even in the Bible, aren't there?
The good Lord.
She's
The
read
good
the
Lord
Catcher
for
in the Rye, for example, right?
the Bible.
I don't like this using books
about the
to
Vietnam War and about Vincent van Gogh, memoirs about other people, right? So it's a whole wide array, as you said, of books. Isn't that true?
It is a wide array with all different topics, and certainly going through that list doesn't suggest that she's focusing on books about crime or violence.
As you used to be the medical director of the Mendota Mental Health Hospital, weren't you?
That's true.
Isn't it important and isn't Winnebago sort of the sister institution? We only have two institutions, Winnebago and Mendota, right?
That's correct.
And it's, does an individual in the institution have any control over the books that people send into them? Do these institutions restrict books from coming in?
Well, to some
I don't think
extent
they
they
should
do.
be allowed
They
to.
look to see what the books are. They inspect what comes in to see if they believe it's suitable. So yes, they do play some role.
Okay, so anything, it'd be fair to say anything that Morgan reads is something that came through, as far as you know, the proper channels to be sent into Winnebago, and she would read it inside the
I'm
institution.
telling
right?
you,
There's actually
Mustang.
foundation for this witness to know that fact.
Sustained.
When you learned about the various books that she read and thought about the conclusions you had offered previously, did you do you have a different opinion today, or do you think that Ms. Geiser should continue to be released under conditional release?
My opinion hasn't changed. I continue to believe that Ms. Geiser should be released under conditional release.
And knowing what you know about her having contact in person
Well, then she's
in
gonna
June
get
of
released.
2023 with Jeffrey Pagel,
That's her
and
actual
some of the other
doctor,
information
correct?
that was contained about her.
I don't know.
Does
He
that
said
change
he's
your
in
opinion?
California, so
So I think Morgan is
She's an
going to
expert.
unfortunately have to deal with people who are attracted to her because of her criminal history.
Crime?
And I think this is one example, but I think she became aware that that's what he was doing. And she herself recognized that she should be shielded from meeting with someone who had that motivation. And she asked that something be done to prevent him from being able to see her back in June of 2024. And that has continued.
Was that an inappropriate way for Ms. Geiser to address it?
I think that was a perfect way for her to address it.
That's all. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination.
Dr. Robbins, I guess I'm a little bit confused by something that you said in response to Attorney Cotton's question. Is Dr. Pope someone that would be considered to be part of Ms. Geiser's treatment team that sits in on her treatment?
There you go.
So she has been. She was her psychiatrist for quite a long time, and she has continued. She oversees all the clinical care at the institution. So she apparently has sat in on some of the clinical team meetings.
And you indicated that when you spoke to her, that she indicated the information that was filed with the court was just all incorrect about what the treatment team knew.
What she told me was that so there was apparently a social worker who sat in on the interview that Ms. Whitaker had with Morgan. And Ms. Whitaker asked this particular social worker some questions about what the team knew, and that they had not anticipated that there was going to be this kind of give and take. And the social worker was a relatively new social worker and was not knowledgeable about what the team knew and didn't know. And so she had a hard time answering the questions.
And that's what you recall Dr. Pope telling you?
Yes.
Sir, Ms. Whitaker testified today, and she said that she never confirmed with anyone in Morgan's treatment team about these things. That was a DHS representative. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess all I know is that whoever the representative spoke with, apparently, according to Dr. Pope at least, wasn't as knowledgeable as would have been ideal.
Well, the court also just heard from Ms. Geiser's therapist, who agreed with all of the lack of information that's cited in the report that was filed. She agreed that these are things that the treatment team was unaware of and that hadn't been worked on in treatment.
Yeah, I can only tell you what Dr. Pope told me.
You'd agree with me that it seems like we've got a lot of conflicting information right now for the court, though.
Yeah, that may be true. I don't know that.
Okay. You agree with me that historically, Ms. Geiser has had issues becoming fixated on fictional characters.
Yes, in the distant past, that was true.
And so fixated that it led to the index offense.
Yes, I believe that's true.
So don't you think it would be really, really important for someone who's trying to assess risk to the community to know all about what kind of fiction characters Ms. Geiser is interested in?
So believing that fictional characters are real is very different from wanting to know what books she's reading. Yes, I think it would be important to know if she thinks there are current fictional characters that are real, if that's true today. But I don't know that it's critical that they're aware of every book that she reads.
Do you think that the treatment team at Winnebago Mental Health should know that Ms. Geiser enjoys reading about the sale of human organs on the black market.
I'm sorry, that completely misstates the record. She read a book. To say that to make it broad and to suggest to the doctor that she is interested broadly in the concept is far different than reading one book, Your Honor.
Well, this is cross-examination, so I'm going to overrule the objection.
Do you mind repeating that question?
Do you think it would be important
See, this is a judge that's letting
for Ms.
everything
Geiser's
get in,
treatment
which
team
is
at
kind of
Winnebago Mental
cool.
Health to know that she enjoys
Do I
reading
sound like a
material
frog?
about trading human organs
little
on the
bit.
black market?
I opened
So
up YouTube
certainly,
to
if
get
that
the
were
link so we
true,
could
I think
share
it
it
would be
out.
Yeah.
important for them
Sound
to
like a
know.
fraud,
I,
man.
I don't see evidence that that's true.
Do you think it would be important for Ms. Geiser's treatment team at Winnebago to know that she enjoys reading materials surrounded on themes of murder?
I guess I'd say the same thing. If it were true, I would agree that that would be an important thing to be aware of, but I don't see evidence that that's true.
That's fucking weak sauce.
Have you ever seen evidence that Ms. Geiser enjoys creating artwork that is depicting decapitated figures?
I'm not aware that she enjoys artwork depicting decapitated figures.
Are you aware that Ms. Geiser created such artwork and sent it to someone outside of the facility?
So I am aware that she sent some gory pictures to the man that we talked about. Again, I don't know how much enjoyment she truly got from that. I think some of that was influenced by what he asked her to do.
Do you think it would be important for Ms. Geiser's treatment team to know that she's engaging in creating gory artwork?
I guess if that were a consistent thing and that's what she was focusing on, yes, I think that would be important to know about.
Are you aware that Ms. Geiser was creating dark themed artwork around the time of the index offense?
I am aware of that.
Did the similarities in these themes not cause you any pause?
If I believed that she was in a similar emotional state, if I believed she got similar reinforcement
Darkwoods,
by doing it, yes, I would be concerned. I don't believe that to be the
who
case.
are you?
however.
That's all I have.
Talking about the psychiatric facility?
Yes. Why don't you believe that to be the case?
Is that what you're asking about?
Based on both talking to Dr. Pope and talking to Morgan herself, she was very clear that
I
she
would
doesn't
believe
take
that
pleasure
she's
in
having
war or
cognitive
violence,
behavioral therapy,
that
counseling,
she's trying to experience the full range of what's going on in the universe, and
all kinds of
including
different treatments.
what's going on in culture. And certainly there's a lot of violence in our culture, and I think that's part of what she's trying to understand and make sense of. But do I think that she takes particular pleasure
I don't know if
in
that's
violence?
true.
And gore and
They let
violence?
boys out. Darkwoods, if you look into Ed Kemper, it was similar to this. He killed his
I
grandparents
have.
and
In fact,
around the same age,
is Dr. Lundbaum's
and they let
report
him out
that
when
she
he was an
operated
adult,
before
and then he
the previous
became the
release. Do you
co-ed
remember that?
killer. He
I do.
basically
And
manipulated them
fact,
into
Morgan's
thinking he was a good boy.
artwork was specifically mentioned in that report, wasn't it?
It was.
The fact
And
that
he probably
Morgan
is a
Morgan even said,
good boy,
I use
just
my art as a way not to
institutionalized. He can't
self-harm.
handle it
I
when
put
he's
everything
not
bad in me out in my art
institutionalized.
and writing, so I don't do that. It's a way to cope with my trauma. You remember reading that?
I do.
That's a healthy thing, isn't that?
And to anyone listening that hasn't yet,
I
you
think
hit
it's a
the
healthy
like,
thing. I think Morgan has had
subscribe,
very
bell
limited
thing.
way of
It'd be great.
expressing herself,
And
of
help fish his
experiencing
channel
culture
out.
for the last 11 years while she's been institutionalized. And I
What's up, Misty?
guess I'm not surprised that
We're
part of
over
what
at
she
Don't Hate
understands
Create if you want to jump in the chat over there. I think I have it posted, linked in the,
drawn artwork involving crime,
what do you
culture,
call it?
and violence.
It's the
I don't
pinned
think that
comment.
suggests that she's about to become violent.
Right. The state introduced, so you know, Dr. Robbins, today, the state introduced one photo, one drawing that Morgan did of some sort. Can we show this exhibit to the witness, Your Honor? Exhibit 1. Oh, okay.
I don't know
She
who's in
drew
what
one
chat. I
drawing
just
with
know
what appears to be
everybody's got a
not
wrench
even
in mind. So
person, but some sort of thing with its head cut off, okay? One drawing they've introduced. Does that
Appreciate all you guys for
give you
stopping
any
by.
cause for alarm that she did one drawing like that?
Does not.
And when guys are, and this is something you've known, even before you authored your original conditional release report, you knew about her artwork, didn't you?
I did.
Because she said and Morgan has said that her artwork.
Oh
sometimes
no,
is dark,
you're good.
right?
You're good, Dark Woods.
She does.
And she's in trauma therapy. That's part of her therapy, isn't it?
It is, and she's around
Like the
you know,
smash
many
button. That's
perpetrators, many
right.
people who've committed crimes. That's really her social group, and that's what she's hearing about.
Right. What's important is whether there's any indicate. Would it be important to talk to
Oh,
Miss
hey,
Geiser's
Misty.
therapist at Winnebago and hear the therapist's opinions? Would those matter, do you believe?
Yes, I think that would matter.
And if the therapist testified that she sees no additional need to continue providing any new therapy at Winnebago.
We've
as a
also
result
been
of that,
getting
she's not concerned
into,
about it in any
Fishy's
way.
been getting into the
Okay.
corn rake
Okay.
Does that surprise you, or do you differ in
murder,
that opinion?
and I'm
I
not
don't
sure
differ.
what
I think
else.
it's consistent with what Dr. Pope said to me.
What else are we getting into, Fishy? I'm kind of a producer over here,
Thank you.
more than a
Any further,
host or
any further
anything.
cross?
No, thank you.
All right, well, doctor, thank you for being available today. You have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.
A good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Further witnesses?
Defense Russ.
Women's prisons are
How
not
about
such as F.
Dr. Collins? Is she here?
I think you have both of the doctors
Posh.
available by Zoom if you care to.
Okay,
hear
but
them.
the defense rests.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
I'd like
not
to
good
hear from
either.
The other two doctors.
Okay.
So I'll call Dr. Collins as a court witness. Dr. Collins, you're appearing by Zoom?
Yes,
Mara, are
Can
you
see
gonna
and
be
hear
free
the-
later?
can you see and hear the court?
yes.
All right. I'm
I don't know how late you're gonna
going
be
to
up.
ask you to stand and raise your right hand, and our clerk will swear you in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Definitely
I-
plan to kill.
All right. thank you. Please be seated.
Absolutely.
State your full name and spell your last name.
Absolutely.
Deborah Collins, DeborahCollins.
All right. Thank you. Okay, who wishes to ask questions, Dr.
Okay.
Collins, initially?
Hey, tomorrow, if you're free sometime, I wanted to ask you some of the stuff about
I'd
covert,
like
if
one
that's
of the
cool.
attorneys to do it. Is there an objection to the court asking the questions from the state?
No,
Objection from the defense?
No.
All right. Dr. Collins, you're familiar with Morgan Geyser?
Yes,
And you wrote a report previously that was dated December 9, 2024, with regard
Oh,
to
yeah.
the conditional release.
Thanks, Mar.
yes,
You're aware of the petition that was filed to revoke the conditional release order of the court?
yes,
Have you've been part of the court proceeding that you've heard the other witnesses who testified?
That's right.
Yes.
Mustang.
Do you have an opinion as to the risk involved, the dangers involved with what's been disclosed in the petition for revocation of the conditional release that affects the court's decision on conditional release?
While I certainly recognize conflicting information that's been
Agreed,
presented to the court and contained in the petition for revocation, it doesn't cause me to undo the analysis or opinion set forth in my report.
Okay, why is that?
Because in large part, the information that's been provided isn't new. It's been known. The reading material that Ms. Geyser has access to or seeks out is known at Winnebago. Now, whether or not someone reads the books that Ms. Geyser reads is unknown. But there's nothing about what I've learned since knowing that the state was attempting to revoke Ms.
What's up,
Geyser's
Bones?
petition that would suggest to me that she now suddenly poses a significant risk of bodily harm to herself, others, or serious property damage if conditionally released, with all the supports, accountability, supervision that entails.
It's definitely true.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Collins from the state?
Striving for fairness is the best we can do at the moment.
Dr. Collins, was there information that you heard that causes you concerns?
I
today
know who
or
that
in your
is.
report
Shout out to
interview?
Bones. What's up, man?
Certainly at first blush, hearing that someone is, the accusation that someone is obsessed with gore gives one pause. When I explored that with Ms. Geiser, when I met with her for a follow-up interview virtually on Monday, when I talked to her social worker, when I look at the records that I have and hear the testimony, I don't see that to be true. I don't find it to be credible, given what others close to Ms. Geiser, who have known her best during the past year, how they describe her or
much,
characterize her in the clinical records.
Running the YouTube
Have
grind.
you requested additional records from Winnebago since you last did a review of records from Ms. Geiser?
Yes, I did. My office requested earlier this week her available clinical records that have accrued since I met with her in November to the present. I've not received those records.
Okay. Did you?
Now,
have you
Fishy,
had
is
the
this the
opportunity
actual
to speak with,
psychiatrist that
Dr.
has
Pope,
her
for
under her
example,
care?
from Winnebago at all?
I did not speak with Dr. Pope, though I did conduct a collateral interview with Ms. Geiser's current social worker, also
No
via
clue. Somebody was
video.
talking when they
Did
introduced
that
her, so I
interview
couldn't tell.
give any insight into
Sorry.
kind of what happened
Over here,
on this
glance
section
through.
of what was
Glance
known
through
as Monday,
comments.
the 17th?
No,
What
you're
I
fine.
learned
I'm
is that
okay.
the
Fucking
petition for revocation,
can't
the
listen
best
that
I could
long.
gather, took the
Lose
treatment team by
focus.
surprise. That they had wished that some of the concerns that the half-hour weekly virtual meetings with Ms. Geiser in anticipation of conditional release had generated had been brought back to Ms. Geiser so that she could explain or put context on things that had come up. But I learned that it's largely a surprise to staff, as best I could tell. Ms. Geiser herself mentioned that I think she had witnessed at least 4 Winnebago Mental Health Institute staff members become tearful about learning about the revocation.
Is this all decided on today, Fishy?
Petition and the curtailing,
or is this still going on?
I think that probably did buy you over it. I'm over it.
At Winnebago.
Huh? No. I'm not over it. I just don't. I don't know if there's more days of this to come, or if we could take a
I'm pretty
break.
sure that
We can pause it. We could get into
I just
it
want
a
to look
little
up.
bit.
I just want to look up
There seems to be some conflict between the
results.
testimony
Yeah.
Dr. Robbins
Oh well, pause it and look it up, or let it roll. Look it up and share it on the screen. We can go through it. Oh, we don't even have to cut. We don't have to watch the whole thing.
team's awareness of some of these.
I feel like they're just saying the same things over and over
Yeah,
again. you
they
know?
are. Procedural crap.
Was aware of all of these things.
At least they don't
Like,
have to
basically-
voir dire all the witnesses for an hour like they have in some trials.
Well, like basically what they're saying is that they went over the stuff. Like
That's what
they
we're gonna
already
look up.
decided she should be released. You know, they testified to it, and then friggin' they didn't change their minds. Basically, I think. Hold on, I'll look it up right now.
Okay, here we go.
I'm looking it up right now.
You just got me fired up when you pulled that up. Not, it's not really.
Really got fired up, Dan. That sounds.
I saw this shit on Court TV when they announced they were gonna release her, and it pissed me off. And I understand, like, I don't. It doesn't even bother me if people disagree. It's just for the love of. I don't know. I don't even know what. Just say my opinions are my opinions, and they're probably jerkish.
It says Morgan Geiser's conditional release will continue as planned. A hearing was held. It was the state that had petitioned to stop Geiser's release. And Geiser was one of 2 people convicted in 2014. Yep. They said, fucking do it. Release her. Oh, I guess it says she now identifies as a transgender man, but she doesn't. Like, that's what the other lady said. She doesn't anymore. So.
That doesn't align with.
So.
That doesn't. What do you call it?
Ah,
Uh-oh. Got an echo. Okay. That doesn't align with the agenda.
gotta turn on the volume
What?
on the other thing. I said Elf needs to turn on the volume on the other thing.
Yeah, I was just making sure I had the other stream turned off and stuff. Yep. And the generator's in the background, so I didn't want it droning. If I want to chime in, I'll just unmute yourself.
Okay.
What's up, Buck?
Hey, folks. Yeah, I've just been talking in the chat with everyone, and I'm just right in the middle on the fence with this one, eh? I'm just going to leave it with the judge, because it's a pretty hard moral case unless you've been right into it, and I don't know the specifics. I've just seen the doco on it.
Mm-hmm. It says last May, a doctor diagnosed Geyser with autism spectrum disorder, and she was previously diagnosed with schizophrenia. Doctors say neither of those things impacted Geyser's mental health recovery.
Oh, goodness.
And okay, so if he's headed to a group home, where she'd be monitored and treated. Like,
that's the idea, but you know as well as I do in reality,
she's gonna fuck all those
just
guys.
like the what do you call it? Just like the psychiatric facility. I don't know.
If she's keeping the shaved hair, she can stay in prison. She looks like a dog.
If she, well, Fishy's mom. Hey, wait, Puck. Fishy's mom.
Cute little girl that shocked the world.
Puck,
and now I'm looking at her now. No, she can stay in prison. Fuck that.
Puck, Fishy's monetized to keep the language down to a minimum.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Okay. I'm Australian. That's cultural. I have cultural extension on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Only in Minecraft. Only in Minecraft.
Yeah, I can't. If she comes out of it and she's a better person, awesome. But you know, if she comes out of it, gets out of the stuff that she does, and goes right back to doing it, I don't know.
To doing what? Killing?
Yeah. Or if she links up with some crazy on the internet and they go on a killing spree or something, because there's a culture of that.
Any mention of fantasizing about it, she needs to be given a government phone and a government fucking internet connection, and they need to fucking watch everything she fucking says. As soon as she gets fucking weird, she's back off to the fucking crazy house.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Australian
No,
again. God damn it. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Well, now I'm like a pirate.
like a butt pirate.
I swear like a pirate. People say they swear like a sailor, but no, I'm worse than that. I'm like a pirate.
He's swabbing
Yes,
deck.
I might get my deck swabbed tomorrow, actually. We'll just leave it there.
You heard it here first. Puck's playing the didgeridoo tomorrow.
Yeah. No, not playing the didgeridoo. Someone else. Someone else tomorrow in the didgeridoo for a while, I hope. I'm having my first guest over in the new caravan, and I'm cooking dinner. Yeah. Yeah, but
What are we looking at now, Fishy?
She rang me crying today and just needs help, and I said, just come over and stay the night. I'll cook you dinner, and I'll come out and help you with it tomorrow. She needs her lawn done for inspection, and they're threatening to kick her out. So I'm doing the lawn mowing. I got my own lawnmower, so they're great. Elf's campsite is the cleanest campsite.
That's the girl they stabbed right there.
That's the what?
The girl that they stabbed.
Yeah, oh, wow. I wish I could see the full size.
They didn't even dislike her. They invited her out there literally. They were literally wanting to sacrifice someone. Oh, she fucking supported.
That they had been working on for months.
They worse than disliked her. they
Less than a
didn't
week
care at
after
all.
the attack, I was asked to go to the hospital to interview Peyton. She was very, very quiet. We had to turn up the sound on the recording equipment really high just to get her voice.
Do you remember leaving the park to go to the woods?
They just wanted to go on a walk, and I didn't think much of it. It's just a walk. It's in Waukesha. Like, what bad stuff happens in Waukesha, Wisconsin?
What bad stuff happens in Waukesha?
So we're gonna play a hide and seek.
And Nisa told me to lie on the ground and like cover myself in like sticks and leaves and stuff, but it was really just a trick.
It took a long time throughout the interview to finally get her to say Morgan's name or that Morgan had even stabbed her.
I give it back to her and say, you do, just go ballistic. And she said, okay, I'll go ballistic when you say you want me to.
When you hear them describe to investigators and telling Morgan just to do it, I think the word was go ballistic.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember them chatting right next to me while I was just laying there.
Morgan said, don't be afraid, I'm only a little kitty cat, and jumped on top of Bella and stabbed her repeatedly.
And do you remember when it started?
Kind of. I didn't feel anything because my body was in shock from the adrenaline. I didn't feel a thing.
I asked Peyton how it stopped, and she simply said that Morgan just stopped and stared at her. That both her and Anise just, for a while, just stared at her like this blank stare.
Did she try to get up? Yeah, she tried to get up. She said that she couldn't see, she couldn't walk, and that she couldn't breathe.
And they told her they were going to go get her help, but Anissa flat out said, no, we weren't getting her help. We wanted her to die.
Do you remember the moment they left you?
I think I remember them running away, but I kind of just laid there for a minute.
You walked out of the woods.
I got up, grabbed a couple trees for support, I think, and then just walked until I hit a patch of grass where I could lay down.
It's amazing that she had the strength to do that with the injuries that she had.
Oh.
She was just a little baby.
I know, man. It's like watching the Lovely Bones. Oh. Fortunately enough, Dark Woods, it was not a murder. Fortunately. Close.
Yeah, it was horrible to hear the first-hand witness accounts, and
yeah, that right there, Dark Woods, was the girl.
Yeah, I was talking about like mental health and the other chicks are crazy, but I'd hear the first-hand girl's account, and if I was the judge, I'd be taking her statement into the most account rather than what the other people say. And if she says they're evil, lock them the fuck up, or whether she forgives them or not, they were just crazy. That's probably the. I can't say anything. It's a third party to that, really.
I think that's. What was that from, Fishy? Because that looked like the documentary I watched, or I don't know what you call it.
I think that was Dateline or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that the dude from Dateline? I think it is.
Chris Handsome.
That's the other.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Did you really have to? I don't.
Yeah, Felice Johnson. I calls you Chris Handsome. Ah, man. Bailey had me watch that, The Lovely Bones. I bought her the book. I haven't read it. I don't think I can. And
I
it reminds me of that. Oof.
I thought you were talking about Mr. Bones from Star Wars.
No.
That's a psychopathic droid. Sorry.
No. The Lovely Bones is horrifying. About a little girl who gets basically kidnapped and deleted and like assaulted, and then she's no, but she's a ghost and she's trying to tell her family who did it and all this stuff. That's the whole.
Yeah, it's like what is 50 Shades of Grey version of The Crow.
No, this is not a. It's a happy movie kind of, but it's the beginning of it's really sad.
Yeah. I just think it's got like some Crow vibes, like coming back from events to do something, you know? Yeah.
No, like they show her getting down into this room, and you know the bad things happen, and you see her run away, and she's running away, but she's not her anymore. She's like, yeah, I don't like that movie.
Do you want to hear something really, really weird I've been doing lately to try and help move past some trauma
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
Anything's
Go
better
ahead.
than thinking about that movie.
I've been doing some inner child meditation and stuff, and the place I've picked and meet him in my mind where he comes and sits with me, my younger self, about 12 or 13, and I just talk to him, give him a hug and tell him he's loved and that it'll be okay and that kind of thing. And then sometimes we've started playing the odd games in the forest now. And when I was that age, I used to see fairy spirits in the forest and run around by myself chasing shadows, having fun. And I'm wondering, is this some kind of quantum inner self mind loop where I'm actually visiting myself in the past? What the fuck?
Probably.
Yeah, no, it's not that, fuck. Not that.
It could be. Fuck. I think it,
Accidentally astral traveled a few months ago, so I don't know. And it's just talking about child trauma and like the topic of the day, but yeah, I've been doing this inner child meditation where I just go back and talk to my young self and tell him everything's going to be fine, you know?
yeah,
And
no,
around
that's
that,
actually like a good thing.
sorry?
You know? That's
You
a
go.
good thing to do is go back if you experience childhood trauma and like tell yourself look think about yourself as like a little kid and like you couldn't do anything about it, you know? So
Yeah,
they have a fun guy about it.
yeah, it's been amazing. I only just heard of it like last week from a friend, and they recommended me a few like videos on how to go through it and stuff. And yeah, it's worked out really well for my like past trauma because I got PTSD. It's been great.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is the place I picked and the things we're doing are stuff from my imagination when I was that age, and I swear I could see them. And I'm wondering, is that me from the future? It's like, am I in a time loop or something?
Kind of. The repetitive thoughts and stuff are kind of like a time loop.
Yeah, the PTSD is definitely like that, the constant rumination. And going back and solving it from the beginning seems to be the best thing that I've done in years. So, yeah, it's really helped. That's why I sound a lot calmer today. Anyway, we can get back to the topic.
The cognitive behavioral therapy, I think, is the only thing.
Anyway,
Dark Woods.
We were talking about traumatized crazy kids, so there we go. I used to think I was crazy because I used to see weird stuff when I was a kid. And I'm wondering, is that me now in the future? It's weird.
I don't think autistics generally kill, but I think a lot of killers are autistic. But I mean spectrum disorder, not just your typical,
yeah.
What do you call it? Non-communicative autistic.
Yeah.
Or not.
I met a really nice autistic fellow in a caravan that parked next to me and shit because he was walking around looking for somewhere like nice and quiet to camp. And I literally talked to him and said, yeah, sit up there, dude, it's just me here. But then someone else was playing music ages away. So I ended up giving him a bit of medication, a bit of the 420. And I ended up cooking him dinner and shit. And we had the best talk about mental health and stuff and his autism and that. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah. I feel one of the things as a society to get rid of some of the PTSD and stuff that people suffer is I believe we have an egocentric society.
Yeah, it
in
was
a
so
way.
easy to talk to, and I could sense it. We just instantly started blurting out to each other like things that we think and feel like right now. We're not going through the past history or whatever. We're just like right now here camping, what's going on with us, and we just instantly told each other, and we're like, yep, we got each other's back. It was really nice. And so
Bones is right.
That is nice.
Bones is definitely right.
for a sec. I'm gonna get off here for a sec. If you guys want to it before I get back, you can. But otherwise, I'll be back. Okay.
Yeah, we can shut it down. You're gonna be gone for a minute.
I don't know. I just gotta go talk to somebody for a second.
Well, I can go
Maybe
on
we'll
mute.
have an after party in the Discord and the general voice if anybody wants to show up.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
we can go on
Party
and talk
time.
on.
If you're in the chat and you don't have a link to the Discord,
Do you want me to post it?
yeah, you can post. Well, I don't know. Maybe Fishy or Zero can.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're a mod on her thing. I don't know how hers is set up. Maybe you can.
Yeah, don't get me mod. I'm too
Mine-
mentally unstable at the moment.
Mine, you can go in my description or something. I think it's linked to my. Discord.
I don't think you have. Oh, your channel description. Unindicted.
Yeah, like
What's
if you-
up? Are you in the Discord unindicted?
Here, I'll get your link right here. Here, hold on.
If you can post it. And well, I need to start putting that in the description of the videos, I guess. Do you use Discord? If you do, I'll put a link in there. I don't care about the drama stuff, but we do a lot of this stuff offline.
Yep, I've got my Discord posted in my YouTube post.
That one is.
I'm not going to post it here. Sorry.
That's the one that I made, Fishy.
Yeah, that's your Discord. Yeah.
Okay. She says I made it
Or
for
I don't-
everyone else.
I don't know if you made a link.
Huh?
It's just a Discord. I just did it
Yeah.
from like the welcome page or whatever.
Oh, that or click the create. Yeah, you should be able to invite from the welcome one. That should be good. Unindicted, if
I
you
mean-
go in there, just remember if there's people you don't like or do like or whatever, don't pay attention to any of it. But we might have a little after show thing in there if anybody wants to jump in. If we're doing that and you go in there, you can go in the general voice thing, I think, and you don't even have to. You can talk if you want to, or you can sit and listen.
And if you want to complain and bitch crap about anything, you can come to Puck Elf's cage layer or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I sit
See
there
his
and
projects.
yeah. And I'm drunk all the time. Yeah, you can go in there and say whatever the hell you want. Yeah, go to Puck Elf's cage if you want to just yell
Darkwoods
shit.
will be in there. I just want to make sure. I might invite Bones over there. Yeah. Zero, you game?
Yeah, I'm taking an early night tonight, so I'm getting off work, but I'll be back on later for sure.
Okay,
just a warning, unindicted. Discord's crazy if that's your first trip into Discord land. Be cautious and remember, it's a wild west in all Discords. People go nuts. It's a fair warning. Turn your notifications off for all Discords you're in. Okay. Yeah, are you off here now, Zero?
Yeah, I'm about to take off.
I'm gonna switch this over and play an outro video. You know I love you, buddy.
Cool.
You can
Love you
bounce
too, man.
off.
Bye-bye, Fishy. Later, Puck.
Boy and the Bear.
Christopher Robin, what exactly is doing nothing?
Well, I'm told it means going along, listening to all the things you can't hear, and not bothering.
And you will always answer. dumping, dumping.